In this video, we're going to be comparing two variances. And our question is, patients who undergo chronic hemodialysis often experience severe anxiety. Videotapes of progressive relaxation exercises were shown to one group of patients and neutral videotapes to another group. Then both groups took the state trait anxiety inventory, a psychiatric questionnaire used to measure anxiety, where higher scores respond to higher anxiety. And they give us the scores of the relaxation tapes and the neutral tapes, and then it wants us to decide, does the data provide sufficient evidence to conclude that the variation in anxiety test scores differ between patients who are shown videotapes of progressive relaxation exercises and those who are shown neutral videotapes? And it says perform an F test at the 10% significance level, and they've told us that S1 is equal to 10.154 and S2 is equal to 9.197. So the first thing that we're going to do is set up our null and alternative hypothesis, and it asks, does the evidence conclude that variation in anxiety test scores differs? So differs means we're going to have a two-tailed test. So we're going to have H0 and H1, and sigma squared, which is our population symbol for variation, is not equal to sigma squared 2. Sigma squared 1 not equal to sigma squared 2, or sigma squared 1 is equal to sigma squared 2. And then we need to find our critical values, and for F, we have two different critical values and they're both going to be positive. So we're going to need degree of freedom 1 and degree of freedom 2, and they're both equal to n minus 1. Now our n1, for n1 we have 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 24 plus 7. So n1 is equal to 31. And n2 is equal to, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 20. Plus an extra 5 is 25. Degree of freedom 1 is n1 minus 1, so it's equal to 30. And degree of freedom 2 is n2 minus 1, which is equal to 24. And now our formula for our critical values is going to be F right is equal to F degree of freedom 1 comma degree of freedom 2, and FL, our left side critical value, is 1 divided by F of degree of freedom 2 and degree of freedom 1. Now, when we look at the chart, you have to be careful because unlike some of the other charts where all the significance levels are on one chart or one table, for F, each significance level has its own table. So when we take a look at the F table, we have degrees of freedom across the top and degrees of freedom down the side. And right here we can see we have a significance level of 0.10. So you need to make sure that you're on the correct F table. And then our F right, our critical value on the right, is equal to F degree of freedom 1 degree of freedom 2. So whichever degree of freedom is first, you're going to go across the top. So we had degree of freedom 1 as 30, so we're going to go across to 30, and then we're going to go down to 24, and we have 1.67 right here. So our critical value on the right is 1.67. And now for the second critical value, the left side, we have 1 divided by F degree of freedom 2 degree of freedom 1, which means we're going to go across degree of freedom 2 across the top, and degree of freedom 2 was 24, and then down to 30. So we have 1.64. So we're going to be 1 divided by 1.64. So for this value, we found 1.67. And for this critical value, we found 1 divided by 1.64, which is equal to 0.61. So we're going to reject H naught if FCalc is less than 0.61 or FCalc is greater than 1.67. And now we need to find our FCalc. And FCalc is equal to S1 squared divided by S2 squared, which is equal to our S1 was 10.154 squared divided by S2 is 9.197, and we're going to square it. And when we calculate this, we get 1.219. And 1.219 is not less than 0.61 or greater than 1.67. So we're going to fail to reject H naught. And if we're failing to reject H naught, then we're saying that our variances are equal. So now we need a conclusion. And our conclusion is going to be, at the 10% significance level, the data does not provide significant evidence to conclude that the variation in anxiety test scores differs between patients who are shown videotapes of progressive relaxation exercises and those who are shown neutral videotapes. And that's our video on comparing two variances.